was really kind of an anemic applause there, but that's okay. I'm Fred McMurray, and this is Thursday. It's 2 p.m. Central, which means it's time for... I'm here with my co-host Ray Pillar, our special Womansplaining co-host Carolyn Thurston, CEO of Wisdom Healthcare. Sorry, Senior Care. Man, my bad. Where are you today, and what's the weather like? And then Ray will follow it up and introduce our guest.
Okay, I'm in North Carolina, and the weather is just perfect. We have plenty of sunshine, and it's around maybe about 67 degrees. Perfect weather.
Ray, where are you?
I am in Aurora, Illinois. By the way, that's the second largest city in the state of Illinois. People don't know that. It's a great city. And right now the weather is sunny. It's a beautiful sunny day, and it's a balmy 22 degrees. Just perfect.
I will tell you that in San Luis Obispo today, when I went out to the car, it was 35 out. So it was approaching Chicago weather. Not quite, but
yes. We're trying to send all the bad weather to you. Are we succeeding?
Yeah, you are all too well, so stop it. Otherwise, I'll come there and make it snow or something like that. All right, let's get to the show. Ray, who's our guest?
Our guest is Gary Findley, and he is the boss of, or the CEO of Restoration One and Bluefrog Plumbing and Drain franchise. Welcome to the show, Gary.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, I will ask you, since we're still not quite into pillars of franchising yet, we're still in pillars of weather. I'll ask you, Gary, where are you at? What's the weather like? And then Carolyn can ask the first normal question.
Okay. Well, at this moment, I'm in Dallas, Texas. I live in the big city of Waco, just a couple hours south. But I'm in Dallas right now, and our weather is rainy and cold and just kind of nasty, maybe, 40, high 40s, low 50s, which I spent 5 years in Minnesota, so this is not bad. I don't have any complaints.
It's a little hot out there.
Yeah, so balmy, like you said.
Yeah.
So, before Carolyn jumps into her first question, Gary, I got to tell you, we've got a bunch of people on the website listening. So, folks, if you're listening on the website, you can either chat with me and we'll get the questions in, or you can dial in at 323-580-5755 and ask questions. Carolyn, take it away.
Hi, Gary. I would like to first say thank you for allowing us to have the opportunity to speak with you. My question for you is, what made you become a franchisor?
Ooh, good question.
I have been in franchising. I started in franchising when I was about 19 years old. My friends were going to college right out of high school, and I went to work for the railroad and then came back. I lived in Waco, which is the home of the Dwyer Group, now Neighborly. And I took a job there selling franchises and just absolutely loved this concept. My dad was an entrepreneur most of my life. We grew up out in the country. But, he had a business, and I liked that. And the concept of helping people go out and open up their own businesses kind of excited me, so I was, got involved in that. Later went back to the Dwyer Group in the early 90s, and then on into Curves in the mid-90s. So I've been doing it a while, just like helping people get out and open their own business and kind of chase their dreams.
Good. Wow.
Ray? Jump in there, Ray.
Oh, sure. I'm going to bring this up right now because I knew we were going to talk to Gary, and Gary is also in the plumbing business. So I was doing a little repair at home. And I know, Gary, I don't know if you can see what we've got here, but basically we've got a device that is used in plumbing called a flapper. And I thought, it's an awful lot like the Starship Enterprise. So I just wanted to mention that, it's the same shape, and that's probably where they got the idea when they were developing it back a long time ago. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't know, did you realize that the plumbing flapper looks just like the Starship Enterprise?
You know what? I did not, but, let me go ahead and clarify first. I know absolutely nothing about the restoration of plumbing business. I built them very well, but, I tell my franchisees that if you're on a job or you're somewhere in the middle of the night, don't call me. My policy is build franchise companies, and as all of you know, it's all about a team. So that's all I'm and started in something and know how to go out there and roll it out. So franchise is a little bit different than the flapper.
Yeah. So anyway, so we got an idea about your background a little bit, and what kind of individual are you looking to open up either one of your franchises? And I assume, are they separate, or can someone gets into your franchising with Restoration One, they automatically go into the plumbing business, or do you franchise them separately or together? And what does a person look like that may be interested in one or both of these franchises?
Yeah, I mean, the actual prospect many times looks like the same person. We do sell them separately, so they're not together. We have had a couple of franchisees in the restoration business first went on to buy a plumbing franchise, because the two work very well together, because a lot of times a busted pipe or a flooded room from an overstuffed toilet ends up calling the restoration company, so we come in behind it. But I will tell you that a little bit different than most people in the businesses where you just operate, you don't have an office, you don't have a brick and mortar. We are not looking for the man in the van. We are looking for people that know how to build a business. And so what we find and what we have been very interesting, a lot of people are coming out of corporate America, Fortune 500 companies, so they understand the value of building this company from ground up, take our systems, processes, apply them, and then building a business that can really grow into something very big. So they're just not say, hey, I want to have one truck, I want to operate that, and I just kind of want to make enough to make my bills. So people that want to, really, they're hard workers, they got high integrity, and they know how to follow a system. So those are real, and it's the same person in either business, Restoration One or Bluefrog Plumbing and Drain.
So you're looking for someone with an entrepreneurial spirit.
Not easy for you to
Correct. Yeah, like myself, they have no background in either one of these businesses. None of my plumbers were plumbers when they came into it, which is kind of great. With our system, we actually have people in our office. That's what they do, is to go out and locate master plumbers and put the two together. So that's one piece of it. And then on the restoration side, they take courses and classes that they have certifications in, a water course, fire and smoke, and mold. But they don't have this background. I think in my 280 Restoration Ones, I think I have one person that had a background in this particular business.
Yeah, that's one of the things we have talked about in the past on the show, but not for a while. Is do you want to work in the business or do you want to work on the business? And that's important. And like in my case, I definitely did not want to work in the business, but I do work on the business still, even though I'm semi-retired.
Yeah.
So I was just going to say that I will say this, it's not always true, but, I opened through Curves over 8,000 locations and even more fitness franchises after that. And I will tell you that typically my worst franchise owner was someone who was already in the industry or the business, only because it's much harder for somebody to see the value of your systems. So when you scratch and say, here you go, here's the playbook, run with it. They're usually going to follow it, exactly to the T. Those are the people that are very successful.
Yep. Absolutely.
First, I have to say, the betting was that I would be the first one to bring up Star Trek or space or something like that. And yeah, it was actually Ray and his background in Star Trek. So,
okay.
I'm going to go back to a topic you brought up a bit ago, and you said you've sold a lot of franchises. What was the hardest one or two things you found about selling franchises?
I'm going to give up that money. Having people make a decision to quit their job, leave their job, take the money that they have out of their savings and invest it in something that they know nothing about, an industry they don't know anything about, they've never owned a business before. So, that's hard for somebody to swallow, and most people are just not born as entrepreneurs, and that's great because, like I said, the systems we get to teach them, which is what franchising is all about. But that's the biggest hurdle has been to be able to take these people that were looking to get in a business and get it up and going, and then say, okay, hey, I've got this great job, I've been here 20 years, I'm going to leave it now and just take a risk. So I would say in my career, that has been the hurdle to try to jump as you're trying to sell franchises.
Awesome. Carolyn?
Yeah, when you talk about bringing in a franchisee that has no, maybe they're not specialized in that profession, how do you actually get them to get interested in plumbing? If they weren't a plumber, what exactly intrigued them to look at your system?
Yeah, it is 100% the business model. And it goes back to that prospect. So that prospect understands, and again, many of them from corporate America are people that know how to build businesses. They are looking strictly at the business model when they look at either one of our businesses. So one of those things, it is a business that can ramp up quickly. One of the things I love about both of our businesses is that they are recession resistant. So people who have watched what happened back in 2008, that's important to them. Go, well, hey, what if the business doesn't make it? Well, this is a low investment, low overhead, high margins, recession resistant, and no brick and mortar. So you're not tied to a lease that you've got to, get out of. Hey, not only has my business not made it, now I've got to go, get this, I'm in a 10-year lease, got to figure out how to get rid of that or get out of it. So that's really the intriguing part of this, that they say, hey, look, this business ramps up, fairly quickly, or in most cases quickly, and in the event we do experience some kind of recession, people still have to, if they got plumbing problems, they got to get them fixed. If you have a flood in your home, you got to get it fixed. You can't say, hey, I'll do that, next month. You can't swim around the house until next month comes. And so, for us, that's really what has built our business. I had a flood in my house, two-story house, and so the whole bottom flooded out. And we had to call in one of these companies, and it is it's not a great experience for the customer. So not only do you have to go in and do the work, you have to, kind of help them through the process. It's very emotional. So that's really how we get people to come into the business.
Okay. Yeah. Can I ask one other question, Fred? Okay. So, a lot of people are searching, and they're in this process of trying to figure out. They want to do something with franchising, but they just don't know exactly what that is. What advice would you give them as they're doing their research?
Right. Well, I mean, there are thousands of franchise companies out there. I think number one, you need to sit down and figure out what it is you want to. It may not always be what kind of business you want to be in. I tell people this is the non-sexiest business you will ever be in. So, do you want sexy or do you want to make money? So franchises. Everybody wants to go out to dinner with their next door neighbors or friends and say, hey, guess what? We bought a health club. Nobody wants to go out and say, hey, guess what? Paul quit his job and now he's a plumber. It's a pretty hard sell that you'll find out what it is you're trying to accomplish, what you have to, how much you have to invest, and then do your research on the business. There's so many places out there you can do that. Some people go to franchise consultants. Go to and have them go out and research and look at the businesses and kind of give them some suggestions. But the great thing about today is this little thing called internet that you can hop on and you can look up everything you possibly need to know. When I started franchising back in the early 90s, we were getting prospects by using a phone book. We literally were cold calling. Hey, stop in the business for yourself. So it's a little bit different today, but I think research is 100%. And then, because we are regulated by the Federal Trade Commission, there's a lot of things that we have to put out there that helps them understand the business model, any litigation. It's kind of how much the money can make, at least from looking at other locations. But do the research, make sure that it's a viable business, and look at the longevity of it and the history of it.
Thank you.
Gary, I got a question for you.
Yes.
I'm going to preface it, and I just thought about this when I was going to ask you the question. And we got a call from a client one day that said that they had some work done on their furnace, and the HVAC guy came in and he needed to plug in his trouble light, so he unplugged the freezer down in the basement. And when he left, of course, the air conditioning was working and everything, but he forgot to plug the freezer back in, and they didn't check that freezer for several months. It was quite a mess. It was a gooey mess. So the question I want to ask you, have any of your franchises ever related to you something that was really terrible in the restoration business?
Well, first I would say, I'm going to guess that HVAC guy probably owned a restoration business as well.
You needed to, right?
Yeah, it's like leaving the water on when you're in a plumbing business, right? So, job security. Well, here's the deal. I'm the franchisor, so believe me, they're not going to tell me those stories. They don't want to come back and say, hey, look what kind of liability. I haven't heard a lot of things out in the field. When you have that many franchisees, I can assure you all kinds of things have gone on and it's probably happening today. But they don't usually share it with the franchisor. So I don't have it. I wish I had a really, really good story for you. I will tell you that we had a recording one time on one of our phones that was a little bit kind of like that, where a customer was upset because one of the technicians went in and used the bathroom. And so that was left them a few things they weren't happy about.
So did they overflow the toilet or plug it up, or just using the toilet?
They plugged it up. Yes.
Okay. Yes, well, then
they plugged it up.
Okay, I get that one then.
These restoration guys should be able to restore that.
They need to call the Molly Maid
Aurora-Naperville that can right in behind you.
So I'm going to try to get us out of the toilet here. So my first question is, what's behind the Bluefrog name?
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Here's the problem with that question. We acquired that company. So, I tried to get an answer to that. We bought it because we liked it. We liked the branding, and our branding guys came up with the name Freddy the Frog. But there was all they could tell me. There was nothing real exciting behind why they named it that. I think one of the guys was sitting there one day, sitting at the desk, kind of doodling, and said, "Okay, what should we come up with a little bit different?" And they came up with a frog. I don't really know what a frog has to do with plumbing. I kind of racked my brain on that, but I don't know. I wish it was a great. I could make up something if you'll give me a little time here.
I was thinking blue snake would be better than blue frog, but
yeah, that is too. Yeah, brown snake. Yeah, there you go.
Something like that. You're up next.
Yeah, please, Carolyn, please.
Okay, well, let me take you back to if people are doing their research on franchises. What would you say are the top 3 items on the FDD that you would recommend they read first?
Yeah, I would say item 7, item 19, litigation. So the item 19 is going to give you kind of a, the way we're regulated, you could come in, I could sit down with you as a prospect and tell you, hey, you'll make $200,000 a year. There became a problem with that, and that's what they were told people back a long time ago. They said, okay, we need to regulate this because they can tell everybody anything they want. So it usually takes part of their location, breaks them down to maybe the top third, bottom third, or the middle third, comes up with some averages, or they use corporate stores. Or if it's brand new, they have to have some type of projections. And so that gives you an idea of what you should kind of expect from a business. But, again, that's really based on who's running it. Item 7 is going to tell you what that total investment is going to be, and there's going to be a range. Here's the low range, here's the high range. And so you know what you're going to be spending and what you're going to spend it on. And then that litigation is many times if it's a company that's been around for a while, and when I say a while, 5 years or more, litigation is a good idea of if there's been any problems creep up in it. So that would be, and then the only other one, which is not 3, it's 4, is just kind of the history and the people behind the business. And while you have a little bit of that in the FDD, most of it you really need to Google and find out more. But who's behind it? What's the background? What did they do? And that's always tough with a startup business. When we started Curves, myself, Gary Haven, there were 2 of us, and we both had bankruptcies. So it wasn't the prettiest FDD you've ever seen. There's 2 guys in the company, both of them had bankruptcy. So what does that tell you? We were able to build a 1,000 unit franchise company. So I guess they felt okay about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, Fred, are the lights flickering in your office? Is it time to pay the bills?
Yes, it's time to pay the bills, Fred. We'll go to commercial, and then we'll come back to you for your next question. Remind our listeners they can call in at 323-580-5755 to ask questions, or you can chat at the pillarsoffranchising.com website, ask questions, and we'll get them answered for you. And also want to give a shout out to the newest podcast show Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Pacific. Life Hurts, God Heals. They had their initial debut this past Tuesday, and now, if I can click the button right, we'll have a word from a sponsor.
Hey, franchise owners, how's your local marketing? Do you feel like you could use some help keeping up with your social media posts and comments and reviews? Do you wonder if you could be doing more to attract local customers? Are you able to identify new move-ins to your local area? At Westvyne, we help franchisees like you reach more local customers through digital marketing. With daily monitoring, creative content, and ad placement, and customer data intelligence, we'll get your business in front of the people who want your products or services. We also work with franchisors who need an agency to handle the digital marketing for all of their locations. If you're ready to reach more local customers, give us a call at 805-265-5440 or visit us at westvyne.com. That's 805-265-5440 or westvyne.com.
And we're back. Ray, take it away.
Oh, sure. I think we need to get down a little bit of the nitty gritty. What does it take to get involved in one of your franchises? What kind of capital do they need to have?
Yeah, as I mentioned to you earlier, when we talked about kind of what I see as the best things about our business, one of them is a low investment, because you really don't have a huge equipment package. The biggest piece of equipment you have is going to be your van, which can be leased. And so you can get into our businesses for as little as $75,000 cash, with about a total investment. Total investment under both of them would be under $150,000. So there's just so many options out there today. We have a great funding company that people do a lot of 401 rollovers and those kind of things. And so the business is going to be somewhere between that $75,000 and $150,000 cost to get into it.
That certainly sounds reasonable. I was just wondering, some of these projects can be pretty big depending on what's happening in your neck of the woods or your franchisee's neck of the woods. Do they sometimes get help from other owners across the country, or is that something that is not allowed?
No, they can't. I'll tell you when we see it. We see it, unfortunately, when you have national disasters, natural disasters, and so you can have hurricanes come through, a lot of tornadoes come through, flooding. You had the flooding in Houston several years ago, and the franchisees have to team up at that point. They've got so much going on. They don't have all the equipment, but we also team up with them as well with our corporate headquarters. When we had the floods in Houston, we ended up, our VP of operations and one of our other operational guys, they actually had a boat, and they loaded the boat up with water and loaded up the back of the truck with fuel and took off to Houston and set up and said, okay, y'all just point us in a direction. What can we do to help? My assistant in the company, her house was flooded. So we had franchisees that all stepped in to help them out. And so, yeah, they collectively get together in the case of any kind of natural disaster. And so on a large job, typically they can handle most of those. Even when we knew that I think it was the storms came through in the Carolinas, we actually went to our vendor and bought enough what we call DUs and fans, and we loaded up about a 35-foot trailer, bought a new trailer, bought a gooseneck, drove to North Carolina, parked it, and said, okay, here's your extra equipment. So that's how we do a lot of them.
Yeah. Because a lot of it is emergency type work. So that's what I was, getting at. How are you going to help each other? I would imagine. Yeah. Question, Carolyn?
Yeah. It seems like you help the community a lot when they're having any type of natural disasters. But as a franchisor or even your franchisees, do you have like an organization or something that you're committed to helping?
Yeah, with our really, we put all of our efforts for those things. So any type of natural disaster, that's where we're going to put funds, time, money, energy. We have boots on the ground. So, it affects us. Go back to what I was saying a while ago, talked about one of the people that work for me, my franchise, a lot of places you are unable to get flood insurance. They did not have flood insurance. So the group of franchisees in that area all got together and took care of their house farm. We get involved in with putting together funds to raise money to help out some of these people in certain areas that have been flooded. So that's where we put our time and energy, because actually these natural disasters, you're going to have some every year. And so it just makes sense because we have people on the ground. So it's not just funding it financially, but manpower to help them. And, you'll come in there, you need to help people get moved out of their homes, and just whatever it takes. I think that because we are a service business, our franchisees understand that their job and their role as a franchisee is to work in their community and do what they can. And a lot of our franchisees have their own causes that they do in their cities. They're individual franchisees in a city, so it could be any type of ministry or organization inside these smaller cities. And so I would say probably at least 50-60% of our franchisees work within their own communities.
Fred, can't hear you.
That would be why. So thank you, Ray. I'm going to pound on that. You talked about areas. So what areas are you finding the most growth in, and what areas do you want to grow in 2020?
Yeah. So, our growth is obviously heavy in Texas, heavy in Florida, so kind of up that Northeast. But, our span is nationwide. I would tell you today, we're looking all up the West Coast. We have a lot of availability, and still in California, again up the West Coast, some of your larger cities, like Cincinnati, Ohio, some in the Midwest, which, have a lot of space still left, and some of the Chicago's, in Wisconsin, Minnesota. So a lot of the larger cities, but we're pretty much like Florida, very little left. And that's actually where the company started. I moved it to Waco back in 2016 from Florida, and so then we started seeing the Texas growth. So we're fairly thick in the South, but the growth has been everywhere. I think we're probably in all but about 4 states. And but other than that, the West Coast, Midwest, and the larger cities.
So before I turn it over to Carolyn, the fact that you're saying the West Coast, in some ways kind of surprises me, as I talk to franchisors and others. I've heard more than a few saying that they were leaving California because of, California government is about the only way you can put it. So you're not taking issue with
I understand. That's been and I've been there before, and I understand it. It's one of those things that the franchisor has to decide how comfortable they feel with their system, that their system will not have some of the issues everyone else has. And that's kind of where we are. Our franchisees in California do very well. Our concepts do very well. And so that's just a risk we take. And it's also about, the relationship you build with those. If you build the right franchisor-franchisee relationship, there's a lot of loyalty in that, and they're going to stick with you. Yeah, they have, laws as it's regarding to labor, but most of those do not affect us that much. At least not serious enough to keep us from going out there. So I wouldn't say it's my favorite place, but I would tell you that a lot of opportunity, and we're still going to grow there until they kick us out.
Speaking of labor, I want to make an announcement that I read about the other day. This is from Erica Farage in the Franchise Org. And it says, in one of the most positive developments of franchising since 2015, last week, the National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, reached a decision on the years-long McDonald's joint employer case, declaring that McDonald's was not a joint employer of its franchisees' employees. And of course, there's a lot more about that in the news. I think if you Google any part of that, you'll find that this was a fantastic development for franchisees and franchisors.
Yeah, AB5. Carolyn,
Yes.
question.
Yeah, so what would a typical day for a Restoration One or Bluefrog plumbing, what would the franchisee's day look like?
Yeah. So, our, let's use Restoration One first. Our, that is a way that we go about getting clients is quite a bit different from our competitors. And we're kind of really the new kids on the block. When I say that, we've been around about 7 years, but a lot of our competitors have been around 30 plus years. We spend a lot of time on the sales side building relationships with what we call first responders. Most of those first responders are plumbers. So when we talked about it earlier in the show, you have a pipe bust. First thing you do is call a plumber. First thing plumber does, when he gets there and he's got water everywhere, he gets the water cut off or stops the water from flowing. Then it's got to, okay, how do we get this out here? How do we clean this mess up? He's going to reach out to a restoration company. So we spend the typical day for our franchisees. They have all of them have a salesperson, whether it's the owner or designated salesperson. But what they're doing is going out and just making those relationships. And besides plumbers, there could be apartment managers. There could be local insurance companies. There could be firehouses, and some of that's a little bit, sketchy because of what you can and can't do. You can't go in and give them things, fire departments, but letting people know that you're available in the case of a fire where you can come in, board up, and come back later. But it's all those different one-on-one relationships that we try to build. So there's the typical day for a plumbing business. It's more call-in. So you're working jobs. So they come in the morning, they plan out their day, they go out and they start answering calls. And so the both of them are a little bit different. We'll do some sales as well. We'll get out in front of organizations and businesses to let them know about their services. But some of the other things they'll do is more community work. How do I connect to the community so they know I'm here? But they're a little bit different. But the reality is those two businesses, like every business, is sales related. They're sales businesses that just happen to do restoration and plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, I believe you have the next question.
So they're not standing by the phone waiting for it to ring 24/7. So does that mean that you have a answering service that helps out with that?
No, we don't. They all have their Bluefrog is one that's going to, they are 24/7 answering phone. So is Restoration One to a point. It's not as much, but yeah, they all have someone. They either have a service that they use individually. They have somebody designated to answer the phone, but we do not have a national call center. The past, we've had some experience with those. It hasn't worked as well. So what we found in our businesses is it is that boots on the ground, person that's in that area, understanding what their needs are and putting in place a team that can meet those needs for that community. Because everywhere you go, it's not the same type of situations, not the same type of laws. You got different types of housing. You got different types of rules and regulations. So we leave it individually, but they will. I would say the restoration business is less likely to get a job in the middle of the night than probably a plumbing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was kind of under the impression it was 24/7 emergency type. My house is flooding. Help!
The way you'll typically know that is if you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. But other than that, you won't know it happens until you get up in the morning.
Yeah, that's true.
I was just thinking, if your bed starts to float away, yeah, you got a problem.
It's kind of a hint.
Right. Well, now you got a water bed.
Oh, that's wicked. That's wicked. Love it. All right. So, on this vein, I'm going to ask a much more tactical question of what's the most important piece of equipment a plumber has?
You're technical.
Let's know that it's vehicle.
Okay.
From point A to point B. Yeah. It's that truck, I would say, probably typically most people know it's a snake. That's probably going to be the biggest thing. But the reality is their vehicle's the biggest thing. It gets them around to get jobs and do what they need to. But their plumbing equipment, I said it earlier, there's not a lot of moving pieces in this. Now if you have something where you've got roots growing up into a line outside, or you have a lot of them have cameras that drop them down, run cameras to figure out what the problem is. But we know that pretty much 90% of the jobs are going to need to use a snake.
Yeah.
Carolyn?
Do you have a lot of plumbing issues at your house?
No, but usually that's what happens. It's like somebody clogs it up, and
I was just wondering, you must eat a lot of red meat at your place.
I used to, but
Fred is just full of it. That's all.
that's
Yeah, I think I wanted to ask you a question, just going back to when you're finding the right fit for your organization. Is there any particular tool that you use to help you determine if they would be the right fit for you?
I started off in this business. I worked with companies that did, profiles, personality profiles on people to see if they fit or the right person. And I have, and maybe I've just done it long enough that I can pretty much use kind of my gut instinct. When we look at them financially, we make sure that they're financially qualified. We make sure, it must just more we spend a lot of time on the phone building a relationship with these people. And when you build that relationship with them, you get a good idea of who they are, what they're looking for, what they're willing to do. And you find out it's kind of by design. We have, processes we go through that we have them follow along with us. The biggest thing about owning a franchise is, can you follow a system? Otherwise, you might as well go do it yourself. So that's kind of what we watch for as we're going through a process, so they follow the system. But we don't really use, other than making sure they're financially qualified, we do not use personality profiles, anything else. We just use our experience. Our experience will give us there's no magic wand. Some of the people I thought would be the very best in my business ended up being the biggest headaches, and some of the people I thought would be horrible ended up being my top franchisees. So there's just not, I wish there was some magic wand. If I ever find it, I'm going to package it and sell it, but right now I just don't know where that's at.
Okay, you probably would make a lot of money too.
I would make a lot of money, absolutely. I'd have my own podcast.
Hey, we can make that happen. We'll talk later. Ready?
And I find that interesting because of the franchises that I know have not made it, if you ask them, well, did you follow this that the franchise says, or that? They say, oh no, I don't believe in that. So why do you buy a franchise if you're not willing to follow all of the things they have set up? They're there for a reason. So yes, I have to. Yeah, it's amazing. People will pay all this money for the advice and then they don't follow it.
Right.
So, all right, I'll come back and ask my question. Time to pay the bills again. To the caller that was on there and who got dropped off, please call back in, and we'll get you on the air. You can dial in at 323-580-5755. That's 323-580-5755. That's announcer voice, or you can chat at pillarsoffranchise.com.
Ever wonder how successful business people get educated about franchise business options? The Franchise Consulting Company is a group of over 100 franchise professionals with more than 2,000 years of franchise experience. We help our clients select and investigate franchise companies. And like a realtor, our services are free of charge to you. Our fees are paid by the seller. Reach out to us to learn more and get a free copy of the Franchise MBA, the #1 bestseller and highest reviewed book on Amazon in the franchise category. Our website is thefranchiseconsultingcompany.com, or feel free to call us on 800-321-6072.
Are you thinking about opening your business? Whether you're in transition from a corporate job, looking to generate investment income, add to your existing business, or just too young to retire, come to the Great American Franchise Expo and explore your options. Meet face-to-face with dozens of franchise executives representing dozens of quality brands. A wide range of price points and ownership models are available. Attend our free seminars on accounting, real estate, and marketing. Franchise law experts will be there to answer your questions, and banks are on hand to discuss loans and financing. The first 100 attendees will receive free VR goggles. For free tickets, visit www.franexpousa.com. The Great American Franchise Expo, coming to a city near you in 2019. Check our website for schedules.
And just as a reminder, the next American Franchise Expo is February 15th and 16th in Dallas at the Irving Convention Center. And then the following weekend, February 22nd and 23rd in the Houston Stafford Center. And we are back. And oh yes, you can also fill out the form on the Pillars of Franchising website and get a copy of the Franchise NBA. And as of Nick's last guest appearance, not only will you get the wonderful book, you can see my copy's kind of dog-eared, but you get a free virtual reality gear. We'll try not to say VR. So, now to my question. You've said you've started multiple franchisors. What advice would you give, or what are the top 3 things that a would-be franchisor needs to do to get ready to sell franchises?
So, you're saying to start up your own franchise company?
Yep. To become a franchisor like you.
Okay. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is to make sure that the business that they have can be duplicated, and not just duplicated in the city that they're at, but can it be duplicated in other parts of the country? Absolutely, hands down. The biggest thing that I've seen is that somebody had, a great little sandwich shop in a little town in South Texas, and everybody says, oh, you should franchise this. They've got maybe a very unique sandwich or something, and they get it ready and they go out and franchise it, but nobody knows about it anywhere else. And so making sure that whatever your brand is, whatever you're doing, is that you would, you've tested it. You've tested it several times, and you know whether or not it will work, because obviously us rednecks in the South are a little bit different than people in the North. So there's that. And then finances, you just got to make sure. So many people figure that they will raise the money to, franchise as they keep selling franchises. And that, I will tell you, that has been something that's probably taken down most franchise companies in the beginning, just being undercapitalized. So those would be my 2 biggest things. Does it work? Is it something that someone needs? Has it been duplicated? And can you put it in other parts of the country? And do you have you have the money to take it and build it? Not every good idea is a franchise. Not every franchise is a good idea. So kind of use that little quote to live by, and I think you'll do fairly well.
Awesome. So, to the people that have been calling me about wanting to start their own franchise, you've heard the best there. From Gary. Carolyn, you're up next.
Yes, I have a question about brand awareness, and especially for maybe a new franchisor getting started, and they're wanting to get their brand out there, and we know how important that is. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would say hire you a really good PR company. It's just tough if you go down, you start in, I'm in Dallas today, so you start up a business in Dallas, and you want to really take that and franchise it. You know, the best way to do that is to have other people talk about you. That's what you'll find in a lot of articles. So with a good PR team, they're able to get you in the right places. And those places, what they do is they expand, your awareness, which then allows you. People are always going to go to the website. A really strong website. It's imperative. You have to have that. But by doing the PR, it usually drives people to looking on the website to learn more about you. So those two things go hand in hand. When I've done development over my 30 years for about 16 to 17 different franchise companies. Some of them have been startups from ground up. And, there was a handful of things I told them, these are things you have to do. Some of them we've already talked about, but one of PR was kind of at the top of that list. And it's not as expensive as what people think it is.
Right. So we talked a little about our audience that are franchisors. A lot of our audience are franchisees or thinking about being a franchisee. What advice would you give the person who is working for the boss and thinking about getting out on their own? What advice would you give that person?
I would tell them to go to their computer right now, look up restoration1.com, and call us and we'll sell a franchise. Go to Bluefrog Plumbing and Drain. As I said, everybody needs to find out what it is that they really, and I wouldn't always say passionate about. Nobody's passionate about plumbing. Nobody's passionate about restoration. They are passionate about building a business. They are passionate about helping people. So there's just, finding out what you really want to accomplish with that. Again, those 5 things that I told you earlier, I think it was 4 or 5, but low investment, low overhead, high margins, recession resistant, no brick and mortar. Those are my favorite things. But finding out what is really important to them, and then just research. Entrepreneur just put out their Franchise 500. I love that's my favorite thing to read during the year, other than the Bible, is go to that Entrepreneur 500, and you get to look at all of the top franchisors. You got one spot that you can go to, and in that it will give you rankings. So now you understand a little bit about them. It will give you all the information from franchise costs to how many they have, how many locations they have. And so to me, it's kind of the franchisee Bible, being able to go to that and find everything you need. So it goes back, I think I said it earlier, just research and what is it that you want to accomplish out of the business.
Absolutely.
So for those folks who might hear a drumming sound in the background, it's because it looks like there's a typhoon on the outside of my office. It's actually a good Midwestern thunderstorm. Wow. So, time to go down the rabbit hole. Dun, dun, dun. We like the rabbit hole. So, Gary, now for the difficult question. In the coming zombie apocalypse, how will Bluefrog or Restoration 1 help save mankind from being overwhelmed by zombies?
Well, we're in a great position to do that because our headquarters is in Texas. We have no gun laws. So we're the wild west. So having our corporate in Waco, Texas is going to give us a great advantage over everyone else. And we'll just make sure we arm our franchisees. That's what I would probably say.
Armed franchisees. That's a good one. Carolyn, your last question before Ray asks his last question.
Okay, Gary, I know you're very busy. What do you do to help keep your head, your thoughts together? What do you do for a hobby, relaxation?
I grew up in the country, so I worked with custom farmers all my life, and just got out I get out on my ranch. I've got about 110 acres in Texas, and I've got a tractor and I've got a skid steer, and I just start tearing stuff down. Anything I can run over, shred, whatever, plow. That's my ranch is my happy place. And my time with my grandkids is usually at the ranch, which is even more important. I get to do those two great things, and you know what? We spend, try to wake up in the morning, spend some quiet time, and read my Bible and get my head right and get focused on the day. And just, I love being outside. That's probably my favorite. I had horses for years. My wife made me get rid of all of them, so I don't get to ride horses anymore.
Oh.
All right.
Other than Walmart, I do get to ride them at Walmart.
Right. Before you ask your last question, I'm going to sneak one more in because he brought up grandkids. So I have a brand new grandson who's 5 months old. He's my miracle. So, what advice would you give to him on being successful?
Pay attention to his grandfather.
My number one favorite episode.
Pay attention to what your grandfather said. You know what? Live life to honesty and integrity. Those are the two things going to get you paid. That's the greatest thing about growing up in the country. That's the way we lived. That's all we knew. I was related to somebody on every street. And my grandson, I spend a ton of time with him. And so, I try to live by an example and let him live by an example. I just took him to New York for his 9th birthday, just he and I, and just hung out, just had a good time. So, I would say, integrity, honesty, and stay focused.
Absolutely.
You get to close out with the last question, my friend.
Well, he did mention a little bit about that when he answered one of my questions, but let's give our listeners a full boat of information on how they can get a hold of you if they're interested in starting a Restoration One or a Bluefrog franchise, and let us know. How do we do it? How do we get a hold?
Yes, like I said, that good old internet drives you right to us. So restoration1.com. It's just the number one. So restoration1.com, and then bluefrogplumbingandrain.com. So either one of those will reach us. Reach out. There's a form on there. Fill it out. There's a place for notes. Say, heard you on this wonderful podcast, and somebody will reach back to you and get you more information. It's all you're doing right now is gathering information. Our job is to make sure you get it and you understand our concept and our business.
Excellent.
I can't come up with a better ending than that, can I?
It was great having you, Gary. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys having me on here. Thank all of you.
We want to thank Gary Findley, CEO of Restoration One and Blue Dog Plumbing Plus Drain, our special Womansplaining co-host, Carolyn Thurston, CEO of Senior Wisdom Care. Got it right that time. And, of course, my erstwhile co-host, Ray Peller, who the Pillars of Franchising was named for. We'll be back next week, folks, on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Ooh, got it right that time. And this is...
Franchising.